I am speechless. Your girl. Your girl just interviewed the Rina Kent. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mary Life and I am your not so chaotic book bestie. That's kind of cringy, but I need an intro. So if you have any idea for an intro, let me know. But in today's episode, this is a very, 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 very special episode for me. This is peak Mary life. Like, this is it, guys. I think I've made it. Your girl just freaking managed to get an interview with, listen to this, a USA Today International and #1 Amazon best-selling author, the creator of Eden King, and Adrian freaking Volcom, none other than Rina Kent. So, you guys, I cannot wait for you guys to watch it. So, here you go. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy.
Hello.
Oh my god, hi!
Hi. It's
Thank you
just
so much for joining me.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so sorry for being a bit late. I was so confused about whether it's going to be like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m.
Yeah, that was my fault. I am so sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, no
I'm just
worries.
a little bit confused about the time zones. But yeah, thank you so much for still coming here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so happy to talk to you. You of all people, it's good.
Oh my God. It's such an honor. Thank you so much. Like, I am screaming, crying, throwing up right now. How are
It's
you?
my pleasure. Good, good. Today we surprisingly had a very nice day, which is why I was taking a walk outside.
Okay.
You have to take you have to take the walk if it's sunny because it happens once in a blue moon here. So
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know how to start because I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. Um, but yeah, I've prepared 10 questions for you and you already went through them and I am excited to ask you all these questions. So I am just gonna start. So yeah,
go
so
ahead.
the first question is, what's the one thing you absolutely love about being an author?
So I believe for me it's because once there are lots of reasons why I love being an author, so I can't go through all of them, but first of all, it's the freedom that creativity gives me because I came from an academic background. So that was more of following the science, which I love, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be quite restricting in some sense. And I do believe that I am a creative. So I do find more freedom with writing more than actually mm, doing scientific things, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I love that. I also love creating words and characters. It's one of my favorite things to do. Um, I'm one of those people who talk to other people in their heads.
Yeah.
So it is definitely something that feels fulfilling, but also it gives me something that I'm doing something I love. And I am very, very lucky that I'm just doing something that I love and other people love it as well, if that makes sense. So
That's
those
awesome.
are few of my favorite things.
Yeah, I wish I can be a writer. I don't know how you do it. You're so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You can get there someday. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's a journey. I never thought I would ever be an author. It started as a hobby, so you never know where that leads you.
I bet. I bet like the journey was like not like easy at the beginning. So, but yeah.
Go for
Okay.
it.
My second question, this is like what I'm really, really curious about. So being an anonymous author, like you have the freedom to like to go anywhere, like without getting recognized, which is like super cool for me. And it's like living like a double life. Have you ever encountered a reader out and about, like talking about your books, like in a bookstore or something, or just like somewhere?
So I think the one that I remember the most was um I was actually just walking in a park here in London, and I saw someone. She was having, I think she had one of the Monster Trilogy's books. I don't know if it's
Okay.
Blood of My Monster or Lies of My Monster. And she was reading it, and she was reading the special edition one. So you never know what kind of book. It may look like fantasy or whatever. But she was
Mm-hmm.
so into it. And I was like, oh my God,
Oh, oh
this is
my goodness.
so
She has
cute.
taste.
I was like, should I stop and tell her, do you want it signed? But then I was like, oh no, she'll probably, who is this crazy lady who's talking to me out of nowhere? But that was,
Yeah.
I also saw someone in the airport reading one of my books. But that's basically it. I did see someone in the library once browsing through Legacy of Gods, I think, a few
Mm.
months ago. So that was cool. But I usually just try to play it cool and pretend I didn't see anything.
Yeah. You're just like, I didn't see anything. Just walking away.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
exactly.
that. That's awesome. Oh my God. I just can't imagine like reading like your books and then like Rina Kent is just like out and about and you just never know that she's there. I would be like, what? I would probably like cry.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. But yeah, okay. Next question. Is there a trope that you would want to explore in the future? Like, and also, what is the trope that you will never write about?
So, for the tropes that I want to discover in the future, I do believe that I wrote about all the tropes that I love, which are basically enemies to lovers, to be honest.
And you
Or
did it so
dark
amazing.
romance. Yeah, so dark romance is basically my brand. So, I don't really consider that a trope, it's a genre, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but I did write about the tropes that I want to write in. But in the future, I do want to branch out into a different genre, which is more like psychological thrillers. So we'll see about that. Uh, as for the tropes that I would never write about, definitely no cheating tropes, unless it's a scare thing, unless
Yeah.
it's scare one, like I scared Adrian and scared Eli, but not in the way that two characters are cheating. Um, it's not my thing. Maybe I did say that I write what I love to read, so it's something I don't love to read, so I wouldn't
Mhm.
write it. And also reverse harem or any
Mhm. Like
threesome.
sharing or anything.
Yeah, any sharing
Yeah.
for me. I know they have their audience, but I know that there are much better authors for that than me,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to write something that I don't like reading. So
Okay. That's valid. Also, speaking of like the cheating trope with God of War, my heart dropped. That one chapter, I
I'm
started
glad.
screaming. I was just like, Rina, there's no way. There's no way. So I was just like, I trust the process and I'm glad I did because
Yeah, with me, you have to. I think from that side, you can be, if you read my books, you can be sure that it would never happen.
Mhm. I
So
feel
you
like
think
your
it's just a
MCs are
scare.
way too possessive. Sorry. I was like, there's no way. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. But
I love your
psychological.
bookshelf, by the way. I just now looked at it closely. That
Yeah.
is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I
It's
need to
mostly
have
like
a
your
beautiful
books.
bookshelf. You should see mine. It's all over the place, but what?
Yeah, it's mostly like your book. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Um, okay, where were we? Um, so question number 4. Do you ever like get your storylines mixed up in your head? Like especially like when writing new books?
So actually, that never happens because I am a very goal-oriented person. So when I finish the book, I'm thinking about the next project. That book is already done in my head. Even if I write it, let's say 6 months before release, which is what happened with God of War or God of Fury, I wrote them a long time before release. But for me, they were done. So when they were released, I was just thinking about the next book. I was
Okay,
plotting the next book. Yes, I still have them in my head, but they're not as prominent, if that makes sense. So I don't really mix up storylines because for me, what's done, it's done, and I'm always like thinking about what's next.
that makes sense. Yeah, I don't like I've read like your 34 books and I don't think like it's similar at all. And
You're a superstar for finishing them so fast, by the way.
I finished them in like I think a month and a half. Like I flew through them.
I mean, it took me 5 years, but thank you.
Oh my goodness. They were so good.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I mean, that's an honor, really. It's not just
Oh
making
my God.
fun, but
All right. Next question. You recently published your first book last year, and what inspired you to make Nico Brand a couple, and what challenges did you encounter while writing this new genre?
so Nico and Bran are not really my first couple. I had a lot of couples, but I never wrote a book for them. Like Ethan and Agnes, they were there ever since I started, basically. Also, Akira and Ren from the Thorns Duet. Honestly, I want to write their books so bad. And even for Ethan and Agnes, I actually have 3 chapters written for them. Maybe I'll release them one day, but who knows? Uh,
Oh my goodness.
but yeah, I do. I love them so much. They're one of my favorites, honestly. The angst in their story is just too much. But yeah, maybe one day, no promises though. Um, but I think when I started plotting Legacy of God series, I had two stories in mind, but um I took one out because for me it would be experimental, right? Because I am known as an MF author, and usually you don't really mix them up. Either you this or that. And I was like, you know what? When it came time to writing it, I was like, oh, this book may not do so well because it doesn't fit my brand, but you know what? Their story, I want to tell it, and I don't care. I love their story, and I'm going to tell it because I love it so much. And if there are people who love it, yay. If they don't, they would just wait for the next book.
Oh my God.
But
I would tell you.
honestly,
Sorry.
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
that's fine. But honestly, I was blown away by the response.
It was so
I
good.
never thought people would love it so much. But I was also blown away by my response. I was taken aback because I love them so much. Like at that time when I was writing them, I was going through a rough period in my life. And
Mhm.
when I wrote them, I felt like it was therapeutic in a sense. And I have like a male gay friend, and I was bugging him all the time about details, and he loved it, by the way. You're back.
I'm back. Sorry. I thought I have to do this.
Yeah, so he knows I'm an author. He knows my books. He read God of Fury, by the way. He
Yeah.
loved it. But
Oh.
he's like, you begged me for all the details. Now I need to read it. And I kid you not, we were watching theater when God of Fury hit number 1, and he was shouting in the middle of the theater, and people were like, "Shut up!"
my god, that
Like we
I
need
would
to
cry.
celebrate. He is absolutely a rock star. Like it wouldn't have happened without him. And he's now like you guys, like you need to write more MM. It's definitely one of your favorite things. So just do it,
Hmm.
honestly. And he's like, I can help with plots. I have a lot. So we'll see about that.
Oh my god, that's awesome, ma'am. Like God of like Fury lives in my head rent free. I have like a tattoo of lotus flower because of
I
them. It was
saw
just so
that. It's
good.
gorgeous. I saw it. It's good. I saw a lot
Oh,
of
thank
people's
you.
tattoos of God of Fury. It's they're all gorgeous. Honestly, I am so blown away by the response that book got. And it is definitely an opening for me to do more MM in the future. So look
Yeah,
forward to
please.
that.
Like the girlies will eat it up. Like we will eat it up. It was so good. And like just the mental health rep in that book was so good. It was so beautifully done. Like I cried so much. Like I could not see the pages.
Honestly, I
So
cried
good.
so much when I wrote that scene, especially that scene at the end. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
I had to take like after I finished that scene, I had to just take a break and just cry my heart out. That scene was
Mhm.
gut-wrenching on so many levels.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like writing him. I'm just like I was just so blown away on how like good your writing is, especially that book. It was so good.
Looks like I was meant for MM after all. So yeah, we get to
Yes, ma'am.
it.
Yes, please. But yeah, when you said like you almost had like two books with MM books, was the other one Garrett and the teacher?
Yes, but it wasn't supposed to be Gareth. It was supposed to be Caden and someone else.
Ooh.
Jaden actually.
Mm,
But then no, Jaden was supposed to be Caden. That's how it's supposed to be. But then I
okay.
was like, no, Jaden is a nice guy. I'm not gonna ruin him. So let's get an actual bad boy, and that's
Yeah.
Caden. We'll see about Caden and Gareth. Honestly, I am not completely ruling that out. If I ever come back to the Legacy of God series, it's going to be just for them.
Oh my God.
I'm going to leave that
You,
in the open. Just them, no one else, just those two.
you know, like the people are gonna lose their mind with this
I
information.
know, I know, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But
It's
if
just,
I
I think
ever
it's a
come back,
possibility.
it is a possibility. Let's say it's a 50% possibility. But
That's
I'm not writing any other second generation kid. I'm done with them, to be honest. The only reason I want to write Caden and Garrett is because their story is different. Caden is an outsider, and there is actually something happening in the background. So I have their story in my head. I know how it's going. The others, no. I mean, I know people want me to write about Vaughn. I don't really have a story for Vaughn, and I don't really know his character that well. So it's not going to happen. Maya and Ilya's story is literally like her mom's with her dad.
mm,
So it's going to be very repetitive.
very simple.
And yeah, so I'm like, Remy and Ari, I gave them their closure in
God of War.
God of War, so nobody talks to me about that. But yeah,
People are still
definitely,
like, oh,
like
that's
I'm going to put it out there. If I'm ever coming back to the Legacy of God series, it's going to be for another MM.
no Ariella and no Remy. Okay.
No, no, we're closing that door once and for all.
The chapter has been closed. But their banter in God of War was like amazing. I love that.
Who,
They made me
Remy?
laugh so much. Remy
It's
and Ari.
basically, yeah, so basically Remy is like his dad.
Yeah.
Uh, Eri is a bit like her mom, but she's not an introvert. She's a
Hmm.
loud extrovert.
Yeah.
So she knows what she wants, she goes for it, she doesn't care. And she's like, I'm gonna make you like me, so I'm gonna make you like me ever since she was 11 or something.
Yes.
So, and she did it.
And she did.
Kudos for her. She's the woman.
What an icon.
She is.
Okay. Where's the question that I had a question that I really wanted to ask you. When you announced it on your story yesterday, you said that you are cooking something for the Legacy of God series. Can we hear something more about it? Or you don't have to answer it if
So
like
it's
you're not
not, I'm
yeah.
going to say it's not going to be an epilogue or a bonus scene or whatever. It's not writing wise, it's something else.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it at that because probably going to announce it maybe a couple of weeks from now. So we'll see.
Okay. I will be waiting.
Wait for it. I
Yeah,
am, this is a passion project. We'll see.
I'm excited. This is so exciting. Okay. I'm just excited on like all the things that you do, ma'am. I'm
Ah,
just happy
thank
to be here.
you. Honestly, I'm just so like happy to have fans who are very mature and they know what they're doing. And yes, getting excited is lovely, but not taking it too far.
Mhm.
And honestly, I stay away from social media, but I love seeing yours and some other people's amazing videos. You guys are so funny. Some
Oh
of
my
you
God.
guys can be so funny. I'll be laughing so hard and sending those videos to my friends. And I'm like, look at these people. They're so
Oh my
funny.
God. So
Even
you're
my
telling
friends
me.
now send me videos about my books that you guys make, by the way. They're like,
That's
look
awesome.
what happened, what came on my TikTok. I'm like, awesome.
Probably Mary again, like yapping around. Rina Kent. Oh my God, I can't believe you'd seen my videos. I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, I
It's probably a
love
lot of
them.
videos.
No, just keep doing what you do, girl. It's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. So Rina can see our videos.
Of course I can.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
most of it,
Okay.
like my social media is mostly managed by my assistants. So I don't really see
Okay.
much, but they do send me
Mm,
things. So especially Brit, she will send me
awesome.
things. She's like, look at them. They're so funny. And she's the one, Mary wants to do an interview. It's a yes, right? It's a yes, right?
I love that. Oh my, so I need to tell you the story about how this came up. So the like last week, I had a dream that I was interviewing you, and then I was just
Oh,
like, yes. I was like, oh my God. I woke up, I was sweating. I was just like, I woke up my husband. I was like, I just interviewed Rina Kent in my dream. Like, this is the sign. I'm just gonna shoot my shot.
he was like,
So,
what? Let me sleep. Like, I think all of the husbands must hate me. They're like, who
oh
is this
no,
Rina
my
Kent?
husband loves you.
Oh, I
He's
feel
like,
like
Rina Kent?
I'm making their wives to focus on something else, you know?
Yeah, because he's a gamer. That's why he loves
Ah,
that I
so
love what
I
I do
now I
with.
know why. Yeah, he loves me, of course. You give him his
Yep.
space.
He's like, she's just reading and I can like play my game. So it's a perfect like partnership going.
Perfect. Perfect combination. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I had a dream. And then I remember, I think you did it on your story or in an interview that like dreams always comes to you and stuff and how
Mm,
you plot your like books and stuff. And I was just like, this is a sign.
it
I'm gonna
is.
shoot my shot. I'm gonna email them. And now
You
we're
did
here. Thank you
great.
so much.
My pleasure,
Thank
honestly.
you. Awesome. But yeah, okay. Another question. So what part of writing God of War did you have the most fun writing?
Oh, definitely the banter. I love it when they go at each other's throats. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
chef's kiss. Like Ava had the most hilarious comebacks ever. She was a queen. Like
She was
she
amazing.
didn't take it in any sense. And he was like, honestly, I have to deal with this. But I loved their banter. I loved whenever Aiden and Cole were in the same room. That was hilarious. I just got transported back to the days I was writing Royal Elite series. I can't believe it's been 5 years. I really can't.
That's crazy.
It feels like it was yesterday, honestly. Um, I also love the scenes in the island. That was so much fun. But honestly,
I
I know,
cried. What do you
yeah,
mean?
I know this is like a bit of a hot take, but I also love the scenes where she was getting bad and Eli was suffering because so Eli's story is loosely loosely based on one of my closest family members who had to be the caregiver for his wife in her final years. And he was also like a bit silent, but so he never complained, but you can feel it, you know. So I feel like it's very hard to be a caregiver for someone who needs a lot of care and who needs monitoring like 24/7. And those scenes, I think for me, I really love scenes with mental health rep. I really do. I come out alive in them. I live for them. I also wait for the time I'm going to write them. So those definitely were my favorite scenes to write, aside from the banter, of course.
Oh my God. Like the mental health rep in your books are like one of the best things I love about like reading your books. It's just amazing. It's very well done. And I don't know. I just love them a lot. And I think when I started reading your books, I started seeking like books with mental health rep on it because it was just so good. Like I was craving a lot of those like storylines and like representations in books. So thank you for that.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome. I do believe that I can't physically write a book without some mental health rep in it. It comes naturally to me. I love it. I think many like mental health for a very long time had a very bad image in society, and this is one of my attempts to normalize it, to say that this is normal. People like who have mental health issues, it's not their fault. I also like addressing things that can be seen as socially taboo to talk about, or like how is it perceived in society, how it should be perceived by some people. And I just love it. I love psychology. It's what makes me get to know my characters actually. But mental health rep, when it's done right, it's perfect. I also like reading books with that. This is why I mostly read psychological thrillers. So
That's
probably why.
Yeah, I love like watching psychological thrillers, but like I just started reading them um like this year or last year, and they're just like my favorite now. Like I cannot read fluffy anymore because there
Yeah.
has to be like mental health rep or like some kind of serial killer in it or something.
Yeah. I stopped reading like this is me when I read like a normal romance book or to normal romance, like you know, those romantic
Mhm.
comedies. I'm like, where's the toxicity?
Yeah.
Where's the mental
Where's
health
the
issues?
morally gray character?
Like you mean he's normal? There's nothing wrong with him? Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, good writing, but I'm done.
Yeah, like it's hard for me to read like fluffy romance now, but it's a good like palate cleanser for me. But I don't like seek them out as much anymore as I used to.
You are
But
now in the dark side. You
yes,
will never
Rina
get
can't
out.
change me.
I'm happy
The
to.
Rina Kent effect.
I mean,
Yeah,
I feel myself right in the middle. So not fluffy, but not super dark.
not like
So
super dark.
you
Yeah.
can be like in the middle. Just have
Mm.
the best of both worlds. So you can have a dark hero doing fluffy things like Killian Carson, for instance, making bento boxes, you know, with a smiley
Yeah,
face. And he's like, do you see the smiley face? So you can
it's
have the
like
fluff.
yeah. Yeah, when they start like making cute things for their like girls, my heart just like, okay, stop. This is the
Like,
cutest.
yeah, I mean, yes, you did questionable things, but you make
Like
your food,
actually
so
soft. Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. All right. You mentioned the Rinaverse is just taking a pause, and we might possibly get a Damien and Mio book. This is a very sought question. I feel like the girls are gonna come at me if I don't ask this, so I'm just asking you. But if you end up writing it, will it be like a trilogy like The Deception or like a duet like the Throne duet?
so it's not going to be a trilogy or a duet. It's going to be a standalone. And because his story isn't as complex or as long as Adrian's or Kirill's. But I do know that I'm coming back for Damien for sure because he just finishes the full circle, you know? Adrian, Kyle, Kirill, and just him. So he's the only one missing. The only thing why I didn't write it like before the Legacy of God series is because it's a marriage of convenience romance again. And in all of my mafia books, I had marriage. So I need to take a break from it for a bit to feel it again as a trope. And
To get from it.
yeah, so I need to take a break for a bit. But I will definitely come back for him one day. I'm not sure when. We'll see how we do with the new word, and then because I always, just being an author, you need to change scenery from one time to another, which is why I released 3 books of the Legacy of God series and then wrote Kirill's trilogy and then came back. It gives you like a refreshment of sorts.
Yeah.
So Damien is for sure. I'm not sure about the others. We may go to Italian Mafia. We may go to the Yakuza. I don't know. I can't promise anything right now, but Damien is definitely for sure.
Yeah, she's like my favorite
He's
character in the Brat
he's
book. She's
he's
crazy.
mental. He is mental. Like just thinking about him now and thinking about all the stuff he will do, it's just driving me insane. And I didn't even start writing his book. Like honestly, he's mental. He's like Nikolai on steroids, honestly.
Yes.
So we'll see about that. And he comes with the most hilarious things ever without even meaning to.
Yeah, he's not even
And I
trying.
love
He's
that.
so funny.
He's like,
Oh,
oh, Sasha, you look like this pretty boy, like
yeah.
Kirill had, you know? Just like, she is Sasha. Oh, so you became a woman.
He won't
He is,
even believe that she was a woman.
he's like, oh, so you're a woman. Oh, okay, interesting.
He
And he
was
wants to
so
fight
confused.
everyone, by the way, everyone. But yeah,
Oh my
he has a very interesting background story. We'll get to that. I'll leave you guys waiting.
I'm excited. Especially Mio is like Japanese. And I just
Yes,
love like I don't know. I kind of notice it on your books that you kind of have like some Japanese like things
yes.
going on. There's either like I don't know, the Yakuza or like some mangas with like Cecily reading mangas, and I was just like, does Rina like
I am definitely Japanophile. I think that's how you call it. I've been to Japan like 5 times. I love Japanese. I'm
Oh
learning
my God.
Japanese. I love it so much. I
Awesome.
have a couple of friends who are Japanese, and Naomi was loosely based on one of them. So it's for me like Japanese culture and a bit of Chinese culture are the cultures that I know the most outside of Europe and my own. So in America, of course, like most of my friends are Americans. I hear about America more than my here, honestly. So it's Japan is definitely close to my heart. I love Japan so much. Like I
Me
always
too.
say that Maybe I'll move to Japan one day. I don't know. Think about it.
I love them. They're so disciplined. Their culture is just amazing.
So polite, so
So
polite.
polite.
I
Yeah.
love them so much. It's like every time I go to Japan, I come home depressed, honestly.
No.
It's great. I love it.
And the food are amazing too. So
Absolutely. And the convenience stores, honestly, those
7-Eleven.
I can live there.
Yes, it's so convenient. And I feel like they're just ahead of like everyone's game.
Yeah, it's
They're just
like they call it, like some people call it a planet. It is a planet. No one can convince me otherwise. Like I've been to many countries, but Japan is
your
on a
favorite.
word of its own, honestly.
That's awesome. But yeah, Naomi's story is one of my favorite like duet of you. Like her and Sebastian, they're so underrated. They're just so
They
underrated.
are. I think like yeah, the Thumbs Duet is one of my favorites as well, and also Empire of Lust. They're very
Kingsley,
underrated. Yeah, like
yes,
these two books, I am bummed that they are so underrated because they are so good and different. I mean, I love that other books get all the hypes, don't get me wrong, but some people don't even know the Thorns Duet exists. I mean, it is a bit dark, so maybe people don't want to read that, but Empire of Lust isn't dark, and many people skip it. And
I
I
know.
I
Like
want
people always
justice.
try.
I want justice for King and Aspen.
The Empire series in general is amazing. And like every time like I get comments, it's like, oh, should I skip like the Empire series to get to the Mafia world? Like, no, you're missing out. Just
Yeah,
give
I
Dyson.
think I think people don't really read it because it's not that dark. So because I am known to write dark, so Empire
Mm,
series isn't dark. I think only Empire of Sin even has a mafia theme in it. It's not even a story.
yeah,
And they're not a fan of that. They just want dark. And I do notice that when I don't go dark, fans, like not all, but many of them are disappointed. I'm like, come on,
yeah,
guys. I can't branch out, no.
yeah.
So yeah,
You gotta
but
explore
honestly,
too.
I love the Empire series. It was such a different I remember the time I wrote that, it was different. It was I thought like I was going to do something like that, more contemporary, but people were like, nope. So we got back with the Legacy of Gods, and I honestly didn't think it would do so well because it's a second gen, and many
Mhm.
people skip second gens books. So
They were so
I
good.
was definitely blown away by all the love it got, honestly.
Yeah, they're so good. I think it was Killian.
Killian is crazy. Is
My first Rina
crazy.
Kent book is God of Malice. And the way I read the first two chapter, I was texting my best friend because she was the one who got me into Rina Kent. And I was like, bro, what is this? I was ready to drop it because I
What did you get me to into? What is
and
this?
now look where I am. No, I remember reading the first two chapters and I was just like my jaw was on the ground. And I was just like, what did I just read? And then I kept reading.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think people who knew me only through God of Malice, like their first exposure to Rina Kent would be God of Malice. They'll be like, this woman is mental, or I love this woman and I will read everything she ever wrote. It's
Yeah.
it's one of both.
Yeah. No in
But
between.
honestly, I think it's my darkest book ever. I think, aside
I
maybe
would say
from
so.
the Thorns Duet, maybe,
Yeah,
but
I think it's
it's
like the primal play aspect of it is
yeah.
the dark part, but I don't know. I think it's not. I maybe it's just because I've read a lot of dark romance, but I don't think it was like as dark now looking back. But if you haven't read a lot of dark romance and that was like your first introduction, it'll be like, oh,
Yeah, you'll be like, whoa.
whoa,
What about hello?
hello, what happened to hello? But no,
My
I
boy
loved it.
Killian was just going straight to business. He's like, nah, no,
Yeah, but no,
that
I
book, honestly.
yeah. That book is the reason why I started reading like the
I
entire
know.
verse.
I think uh God of Malice is honestly the type of dark romance that I love writing. God of Malice, the entire Legacy of Gods series, honestly. God of War also, God of Ruin, that type of dark romance that's more edgy. You can't predict the
Yeah,
hero,
it's
things
so
like
good.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. So yeah, look forward to more of that.
Okay. Next question. You recently shook the internet with the announcement of your new book, Beautiful Venom, which is a dark romance sent to come out around March next year. You also mentioned that it has like secret society on it. Can you please tell us more about this book and this new world? I am excited.
So I can't really reveal much details about this, mostly because I just start writing it.
Okay.
I did have the plot in my head for a couple of years though, to the point where I considered stopping, like putting Legacy of Gods on pause after God of Ruin and writing this book. But then I was like, no, it's on a momentum. Let me finish the Legacy of God series and then move on. Um, this book, so it is a hockey romance, but the sports side isn't as important as the secret society side because
Ooh.
members of the team are in this club and it's going to get down on some levels. I will say that the female character is is the one who's coming for trouble this time.
Okay.
So she is the one who came into this for a reason of her own. So she has a reason and she came into this world and she wants to belong for a reason. It does have some revenge themes, but at the same, yeah. So she came for revenge. I
I
can
love it.
say that. So she came for revenge, and um, it's not going to go as she planned, of course. That's all I'm going to reveal about that. So for now, we only have like Beautiful Venom um planned. I will not reveal any other couple, anything else until after the release. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'm super excited though because
Me too.
this this club, it's it's on another level. It's mental. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I have a question about this book. Were you meant to like announce it this early, or is it because like Goodreads like leaked it? I wasn't sure.
Honestly, I meant to announce it before God of War's release because
Mhm.
I want to let people know what's coming after God of War, you know.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, we put it on Amazon uh just to put it on pre-order. So basically when we put a book on pre-order, it goes the day after live.
Mm.
It went the same hour. And my assistant was like, it's not only live on Amazon, it's all over Goodreads and all over the internet. We have to announce it. So
I'm
I was
sorry.
like,
I'm probably one of those person who like posted about it because I remember I was like adding God of War on my want to read on Goodreads, and I was stalking your. I always stalk your thing because you just never know. And I saw it, and I was just like, "What do you mean, new book?
what's this?
What is this?" I like posted it, and then like people, I don't know if I was the first one who posted it, but I was
Many we were like tagged by 50 or 100 people within the hour of it going live. I'm like, guys, do you live on Goodreads? What are
I
you
was just
doing?
like And then you announced it the next day, and then one of my friend was like, "Oh my God, this is your fault." Like Rina had to announce it the next day because you posted it
No,
on TikTok, and I was just like, "Oh no, I felt
no,
bad."
no, no, no. It's not your fault. We were going to announce it anyway, but we had to put like do it a day earlier. But
Okay.
that's it. I mean, we did put it on pre-order, and if it goes live on Amazon, then it's going to go live on Goodreads.
Yeah.
So that was expected, but we didn't expect for it within the hour, to be honest. That was that was honest.
People lost their
It's brilliant
minds.
though. It's brilliant. Like, what? What are you talking about? People
A
were sending
dark
me like,
happy romance.
some people were like, "Is this real, or did someone make it in your name? Is this real?"
Yeah, I got like DMs and they're like, "Are you kidding me? Like, is this true? Are you just like joking with us?" I was like, "Look at Goodreads. I'm linking the link here."
Honestly, I should have done it in April's Fool. That way, you guys would never know if it's real or not.
Yeah. So you keep us guessing. But yeah, I'm excited like with this new world. Like I love revenge books. Like I will eat it up. Like give
I
it to
love,
me.
I love, I love revenge as well. I love revenge books. I love revenge movies. Tell me there is a revenge, and I will watch it, no matter what it is. So I'm so, so looking forward to writing this, and I think it's going to be like a new blast of a word, new characters, no one has met them before, new word, new life. I'm so excited. Honestly, I already have the narrators in mind. So if I
It's,
have the narrators in mind, it means I have the voice in mind. So off
yeah.
we go.
Oh my God, speaking of narrators, I went to a convention in April and I met Shane East.
Oh, he's a darling.
I love him. Like he's one of my favorite narrators. And then I had God of Fury in my hand for him to like get signed. And I was just like, "Are you gonna be the narrator for God of War?" And he was like, "He looks like suspicious." So I had a feeling that it's gonna be him. And then you announce it and I was like, I knew it. There's
I
no
knew it.
other. There's no other person.
Called it. He always asks me like, when are you announcing the narrators? Because he has his own social media, and people like,
Mhm.
are you going to narrate God of War? Are you going to narrate God of War? It's like, I need to know so I can tell people when you announce it.
I feel like he's that person who cannot take like a secret because he was sweating.
He's like,
I was like,
should I
you
say
know,
it?
I was like, you don't have to tell me anything. I just know that it's gonna be you.
I mean, honestly, if it's character, I don't really have much of a choice.
And he has like
It's either
birthright.
Chain, yeah, it's either Chain or James Joseph, or someone else. I forgot the name. But these are the only two I used because if you're using a British character, it needs to be a British narrator. It can't
Mm-hmm.
be an American narrator doing British accent, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But for the Americans, you have all the choice you
All of
want.
them. Teddy
Like,
Hamilton.
for Nico, they killed it, both of them.
It was
They
amazing.
absolutely killed it. I was one of the first people who were like, guys, you have outdone yourself. This is a
Mm-hmm.
masterpiece. And honestly, like that audiobook, I think it's my best-selling audiobook ever.
It was amazing. Like it was so good. Like I was crying and I read the book already. And because I re-listened like after like a week when it was released and I was just like, "Oh my God, they're so good. Like they did
Yeah,
so well."
they they are the personification of Brandon and Nico. They
Nico.
did so well. And honestly, from now on, you guys will only get duets because duets, everyone does their own line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know it takes more time. For me, it's more about time because duets take more time than normal audiobooks, but the experience is definitely much better and worth
Much
it.
better.
God
Yeah,
of
it's
Fury is
so
one
good.
of my favorite audiobooks ever, ever. I love it. I even listen to it sometimes.
It's so good. Like listening to them is just like amazing. My other like favorite like audiobook from you is like the Deception trilogy with
Oh, Jason. I need to work with Jason again. I love Jason's voice. He was a perfect Adrian.
I did a
He's
panel with him like last April, and he was amazing. He was like so nice. And I have like
he's
my Deception book. I was like, can you please sign this? And he was
you're
like,
like, how can someone be so nice to someone like Adrian?
yeah. I was like, sir Adrian, can you please sign this? And he was just like,
Yeah.
okay. So he was so amazing.
No,
But
they're
yeah.
all so nice. All the narrators I worked with are absolutely amazing. Not only the male narrators, but also the female narrator.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah is absolutely brilliant, but also like Mackenzie, she did so well. I love Mackenzie. I love how she did Mia, how she did who else did she do? She did also Aspen, I think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely Aspen. And she did someone else. Who of the American Cats did she do? Oh, she did God of Fury as well for the female American characters. I
American
love
characters.
Mackenzie. I love Rose Dioro as well, the one who did Naomi. She
Mm-hmm.
was amazing.
That one is
Remind
such
me,
a good one too.
I need to work with her again. I love all of
Yeah.
the female narrators I worked with, aside from the male. I know many romance readers only focus on the male
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, of course, he's the
Of
hero.
course. Yeah. But
But
there's
like
like
I
amazing
feel, yeah,
female.
I feel like female narrators don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
They're brilliant and they're very professional. Love them all.
Yeah. They're so good. Like they need more credit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, your audiobooks are amazing. I
I love
spent
my
so much money
audiobooks.
on
I
audiobooks.
mean, because I do listen to audiobooks a lot, so I'm very picky about them. I'm very
Yeah.
perfectionist about them. So it's not anyone who gets to narrate my books. And if I have to wait to get the narrator I want, then I will wait.
That's
Um, and yeah, I'm willing to pay more just to get the product that I want, if that makes sense.
awesome. All right. I mean, I totally skipped like a question. So I'm going back to God of War. I'm sorry. So the
Okay.
last book in the RINAVERSE is out. Like, how do you feel when you finished God of War? Like, what were your emotions? I know you like been cooking Ellie and Ava for years, and we've seen them like
Mm,
with other books, like in the Legacy of God series, even in like the Royal Elite, like
mm.
epilogue. We've seen them. Like, how did you feel? Like finishing
It's
their characters.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely bittersweet because like I started the Legacy of Gods because of Eli and Ava. And I put them last because I know I needed more time with them. And it's definitely people were looking forward to it ever since the Royal Elite epilogue. So I'm glad that I put them last because their story wasn't meant for uni. And I had to get the other stories first to get to theirs. So when I finished the book, I was very, very heartbroken that the whole RINAVERSE, ended with them. And it started with their parents, right? So
Yeah.
it started with their parents and it ended with them. So it felt like a whole circle. And at the same time, I was so proud of how far they came, all of them. Like all the happy endings, all the kids and their parents. I'm like, I feel like a proud mama. Look at all of my kids happy with their own kids. So yeah, I love this book so much. I loved writing it. The journey was absolutely like mind blowing. But also after I finished it, ever since then, I am just so excited for what's coming next. But that's probably has to do with me being very goal oriented. So I'm always thinking about what's next, not what's in the now.
Yeah. But yeah, you're a mastermind. Like that whole universe is just amazingly like written. Like how they all connected to each other just blows my mind. There's always like a character, recurring characters that was just like, oh, this character was like in this book, and like, it's just amazing. But yeah,
I
I
love it. I love them all. I love that you have the kids and their parents, their grandparents. God, I love them all, like everyone, which is why it turned into a universe. I didn't mean for it, to be honest. I only meant like to write like the Royal Elite series and then a mafia word
Mm.
that is separate. But then I was like, you know what? How about we make it all related so it's more fun? And I think it's part of the way I think. I think in patterns. So when I relate two patterns that seem separated, I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of sense of accomplishment. I love that. And I love relating patterns. So which is why it turned into a universe. 33 books later, or 34, honestly, I lost count.
34. Oh my God. What I love about your universe is like, especially with like Jeremy's character. I was just crying about this the other day. I'm gonna start crying again. We saw him when he was a baby. He was 5,
Oh,
and then he went to like uni, and then now with God of War, he got married. And I'm just like, we saw Jeremy grow up. Like, that
yeah.
was amazing.
Jer is my baby. I love him so much ever since I wrote the Deception trilogy. Like part of the reason why the mafia word was included in the second gen is because of Jer. I wanted him in.
I
I
love it.
wanted him to have his happy ending. Like Jeremy and Cecily were the pairing I haven't thought was possible. I didn't think it was possible. I thought Cecily would have like a teacher student
Oh,
romance, yes.
I
And then
didn't
I
know
was like,
that.
you know what? She needs a bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
She needs someone
Jeremy was
like
the
my baby
perfect.
Jeremy.
Yes. Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Cecily and Jeremy, like all the other couples, I had them planned. But then for book three, so book one, definitely it was always Killian and Glenn.
Mm.
Book two, it was always Annie and Cray because of the history. And then book three, it was supposed to be Lan. But then I was like, maybe we can do Cecily there. And I was like, who should I do with Cecily? So I thought about Remy at first, but then I was like, you know, they don't really fit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Jeremy, my baby boy, he's perfect.
That's
And then the plot came, they are perfect for each other. Like that book, God of Wrath, is the book I was never going to write, and it ended up being one of my favorite books ever. I love that book so
so
much. I mean,
good.
I love all of the Legacy of God series. You can never ask me to pick a fave,
I
but
was gonna
like,
ask you.
no, you can't. Like you can tell
Okay.
I loved God of Fury a lot. It's
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's a special book because it's my first MM,
Mm-hmm.
but also because I wrote that book in a period of my life that was difficult, so that book means a lot to me. But all of them, I love them all. Killian, my killer boy, he started the whole thing. He was absolutely amazing and a menace. Cray, I think he's very underrated, my baby boy. I
Yeah.
love him so
He's
much.
funny.
Honestly. And
He's
he and
funny.
Annie, like they're a perfect match. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy and Cecily, the couple I never thought I needed, but they ended up being, they blew it out of the water, everything. Lan was my favorite.
I know.
He was
He's
my
so
favorite.
funny.
I mean, he is still my favorite, to be honest. But like Lan, his book was also not how I expected it to go. I
Mm-hmm.
actually thought it would be much darker than that. But when I tried to make it darker, it just didn't work
Mm.
because Mia is different from, let's say, Glenn, um, or like other characters, or even Cecily. She is a firecracker, so
Yeah.
she wouldn't take it, you know? So I was
Mm-mm.
like, you know what? He needs a lesson or two. That one I
Yes.
loved so much. He is the funniest. He and Nico were the funniest characters I've ever written.
Yeah.
Like being in their POV was so entertaining.
It's
I
so
never wanted to
funny.
leave. Like I
Landon
find
is like,
myself, Landon is a narcissist, but a funny narcissist.
Yes. The way he like appears in every single book in the Legacy of God series is just like the best freaking
And
like
he's just there to like start chaos. It's like,
chaos.
I'm here, worship me, love me. I'm better than all of you. I know it. You don't have to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Eli, oh God. So yeah, so that's God of Ruin, God of Fury, absolutely groundbreaking book. Um,
Amazing.
God of War was heartbreakingly beautiful. Eli and Ava, I knew them ever since they were kids, and seeing them grow up and finding their much hard-earned happy ever after, it was also therapeutic. That book, all of them, they will live with me. This entire series, well, I love it so much.
It's like one of the best series I've ever read. It's so good. Like the ending, when I finished like God of War, I was just bawling my eyes. I was like, what do you mean it's over? I need more. But yeah. So you don't have like a favorite character like in your universe at all?
One, I don't have one, I have a couple. So
Couple.
if you, yeah, not a couple, but a few of them.
Mm.
So if you ask me who are your favorite male characters, I would definitely say Aiden,
Okay.
Jonathan,
Daddy.
Cole, yeah, Cole a bit because he reminds me of myself.
Oh,
Who else? Definitely Adrian, Curiel, also um God, I forget. Sebastian.
it's
I feel
underrated.
he's very underrated. Sebastian and also Kingsley is my boy. I love him so much. For the women, my
Gives him
favorite
it.
characters are definitely Naomi. This is why
Oh.
Aspen,
Mm.
also Teal, you can see the pattern. I also loved
I love it.
Cecily. Yeah, Cecily, and Demia and Ava. I love them so much when I was writing them. I feel like I could relate to many of them
Mm-hmm.
in many aspects, you know. Like I'm writing a character and I feel like I relate to them so much. I also love Sasha.
Oh my
Sasha
God.
is my girl.
She's an icon.
I'm like, I want to be you when I grow up. I love her so
Yeah.
much.
She's just that girl. Like,
She
amazing.
is. Rai as well. Rai is a
Yeah.
God's girl. Like she's like, don't mess with me. I'll gouge your eyes out.
Yeah, she's my
I love
favorite,
her.
like, Rina Kent FMC, right?
I
And
love
Adrian is
Rai.
my favorite, like, MC.
Adrian,
I love them. Yeah, from the
uh,
description.
good
I
choice.
know. Yeah,
Adrian, Adrian is like, I think he just happens once in a lifetime. He is just that guy, you know. He's
yeah.
very intense. Like, he's very focused and cold-blooded, but at the same time, he only feels for his people, you know.
Yeah. His
Which
family.
is actually, yeah, especially, oh God, like his and Leah's story was.
Yes.
Can you believe I was thinking about not writing it for some time? It's like, oh yeah,
Excuse
I
me,
did.
ma'am. What do
Yeah,
you mean?
because I did the Thorns duet and I was like, oh, do I want to do a Mafia like right after it? But I was like, you know what? I love this story and it's actually one of the books that I had a very vivid dream about it,
Mm.
about when Leah was falling
Oops.
from the cliff, all of it. So I was like, I'm going to write it. And I love how people love it. Like
I
that
love it so
trilogy and
much.
Kirill's trilogies. I enjoyed writing them so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I always recommend like the Deception trilogy. One of my coworker was like, "Oh, what's a good like Rina Kent book to start?" I was like, "Deception."
Good
I
one,
always say
yeah.
Deception. And then she was like, she read Deception and then like Monster Trilogy. And she was like, I think I read this all like not in order. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm just like, you can go
No, the
back.
Deception trilogy comes first, though.
Yeah.
But not Thorn's Duet comes first. So Thorn's Duet,
Yeah.
Deception, and then Monster. But it's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Because it's just like my favorite. Like I'm just biased. I always tell people like Deception. If you're asking me personally, Deception. But like
You're
the reading
Adrian, you
order,
Deception.
Royal Lead.
You are you are Adrian and Leah's spokesperson.
Yes, yeah. I love the Volko family so much. Like I love them. Yeah. So I read like the Legacy of God series first, then went back to the beginning, and then I reread
Oh,
like, the Legacy of Gods. And then I read like God of Pain, and I was just like my heart. Like I didn't realize the connection like with like everything.
yeah, it hits differently if you read the Deception trilogy first, which is why I recommend to people at least reading that and the Royal Elite series before they jump into the
Legacy.
Legacy of God
Yeah.
series. It can be read on its own, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people become curious about the parents after they read the books, so they go
Yeah.
back and read them,
Yeah, that's
which
what
is
happened
okay.
to me. Because I think I read like God of like Malice up to God of Wrath, and then I went back to the beginning, just
Mm.
in preparation for God of Fury. So, and it hit different. So,
It does. It
yeah,
does. I think those people who have been with me, like not even from the beginning, like maybe after the Royal Elite series or during, and they have been reading ever since then until now, it hits differently. They were the one who begged for the second gen, so you guys should thank them. They've been
yeah,
begging for years. They're like, please write a second gen, please write a second gen. And I wasn't going to. I was
yeah.
like,
I'm so glad you
oh.
did.
I was like, oh, which may become a bit messy, but then I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
It was amazing. It just
But
fit
this is
perfectly.
I loved it. I loved writing it, but this is definitely my last because um
Third
it's
generation,
yeah, it's hard to write about books about where parents are good
older.
people, you know, and
Yeah.
older and they get
Uh,
older and I'm
I
like,
can't
no,
imagine Jonathan being dead. I would cry.
no,
I cannot.
and he's not old. In my head, he's forever 50, 55.
Yeah, he's
He's
still like,
never going. I mean, Jonathan, Ethan, Agnes are forever 55 in my head.
yeah.
No older than that. So, no
Yeah, I
epilogue
totally
for
get
that
it.
reason.
Yeah, I think we got like the closure at the end of like God of War and like all of the couples and stuff, like being married or like, their kids, like Eli and Ava's kids, they're triplets and the cat and the
Mm.
dog, just like, yes.
She's like, when I said I want three children, I didn't mean three at once.
Right? That cracked me up. Like they deserved it with all the things that they went through. So
They deserve all the
all the
happiness. They,
happiness.
from all the people, they do it. They
Yeah.
deserve it the most.
Yeah. Well, so last question. Do you have any messages to your readers? And like what piece of advice do you want to give your readers who wants to enter the Rina Kent universe, like the Rina Kent era?
So, um, first of all, I am super grateful for all of you guys. I have never expected like this series. It definitely like soared high because of you, all of the sharing, the reviews. I love all of the fan mail. I don't read all of it, but my assistant makes sure to forward me all of your nice stuff, and I love reading it. It makes my day every day, honestly. Um, for the Legacy of Gods, I do believe like all my Renaverse in general, you can start wherever you want. You can start with the Royal Elite series if you are okay with high school, secondary school in the UK, boarding school types like dark academia, something like that. You can start there and go with the reading order as it is.
Yeah.
If you prefer to go with the mafia first, you can absolutely do that because it's not related. So you can go with the Throne duet, sorry, and then go with the Deception trilogy and then the Monster trilogy. You can, if you want to go contemporary, you can go with the Empire series. If you want to go just like college romance, you can definitely jump into the Legacy of God series if you find like the parents are interesting or you're curious about them, you can jump back, whatever you want. So good thing all of my books are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can jump however you want. But yeah, I do know many people only read the Legacy of God series, which is completely fine. So if you enjoyed it, but as you said, you get a better experience if you know the history.
Yeah, the backstory of the parents.
Because yeah, after all, it is a second gen, It's not like like the other books that are completely unrelated. But yeah, you can start wherever you want. Like we're going to do this on my website soon. We're going to add like alternative reading orders for people who don't want to start with early series, don't want to start with high school romance or whatever, for whatever reason. So you can start Mafia, but you don't really start with the Legacy of God series. You can read it on its own though, but it's not like a starting point.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for like talking to me and like doing this interview. Like it's such an honor. I am like incredibly happy, like and thankful that this happened. I cannot wait to see your future projects. I am excited for next year. I cannot wait to like see the teasers and like I know it's gonna be so good. So
Yeah, I have a feeling too. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been an
yeah,
absolute pleasure. It was absolutely brilliant talking to you. And thank
thank
you for
you.
everything you do, honestly. Like
Thank
I
you.
am like you, people like you, I am so honored to have you as readers. It's
I'm gonna
it's what
cry.
keeps me going. So thank you
I'm
guys
start
so much.
crying. I love you so much. Congratulations for the amazing release of God of War. You
Thank
deserve the
you.
world. Like you need a break. You need like a vacation or something.
I am definitely going on holiday. Definitely.
That's awesome. Thank you. I
Thank
hope
you
you
so
enjoy the rest
much.
of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
I am speechless. Your girl. Your girl just interviewed the Rina Kent. I'm in shambles. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I can feel it. Like, if you'd seen the whole thing, I apologize if I was obnoxious, but your girl was screaming, crying, throwing up the whole time. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.